How's it guys, JK from Old School Transformations, and in today's video I'm going to discuss the differences between HIIT cardio and steady state cardio and which one of the two is best for you. I try and explain this in the following way. If you want to make a hole in a wall, depending on what type of hole, you will choose a specific tool. If you want a small precise hole, you will use a drill. If you want a massive hole, you'll use a hammer. One isn't better than the other. It all depends on what the end goal is, what the end result is that you require. So it's exactly the same with cardio. Cardio, whether it's steady state or whether it's high intensity interval training, it's simply a tool to help you reach your goal, and every person is different and every person will have a different goal, and depending on that goal, you will more than likely favor one over the other. So let's first look at steady state cardio. It's also called aerobic exercises. An example of this would be walking or jogging or rowing, whatever the case may be. The key is it's aerobic exercise. Aerobic literally means with oxygen. So rule of thumb, if you can do the exercise and still have some kind of a conversation with another person or whatever you want to talk to, that would be considered aerobic exercise. It's where your heart rate isn't going too high. You might have seen on gym equipment, treadmills and bicycles where there's heart rate monitors, there's always a little graph that shows the fat burning zone. That is basically aerobic exercise that is referred to. So who would typically choose to do steady state cardio or aerobic exercise as a preferred method of doing cardio? The first type of person, I would say, or the people that will fall into the group that would choose this type of exercise is people that hasn't trained for a long time or newbie trainers, people that aren't very fit. Steady state cardio would be better suited to you than high intensity interval training or HIIT training. The second group of people that would fall into this category would be people with pre-existing injuries. If you have issues with your knees or your ankles or any other health related issues. The third group of people would be bodybuilders, people whose main goal and aim would be to build and retain muscle. When you do steady state cardio, your body will use body fat as its primary source of energy while you are busy doing the exercise, as opposed to HIIT training where your body will be using glycogen that's stored in the muscles as a primary source of energy. So let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of doing steady state cardio. The first one, like I said already, is anybody can do it. Whether you are a brand new trainer, a newbie, or an elite level athlete, fit as hell, anybody can do it. It's easy to start. The second advantage would be that there's a much lower risk of injury as opposed to high intensity interval training. The third advantage is recovery time. You can do a steady state cardio session today and tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, whenever you train, you'll be able to do another session and so on, because it doesn't have a massive impact on your body as opposed to high intensity interval training. And then lastly, like I said, if your primary goal is building muscle or retaining muscle, steady state cardio will not deplete your muscle stores. You will see that bodybuilders will always do steady state cardio. I've never seen a bodybuilder doing high intensity interval training as a form of cardio, because for them, having their muscle and keeping their muscle is of paramount importance. Now, there's also disadvantages. So the first one, it is time consuming. HIIT training session would typically be between 10 and 20 minutes if you are really super fit, whereas steady state cardio you would normally start at about 30 minutes up to an hour or even more. The second disadvantage, in my opinion, is the fact that it can be boring as hell. Walking for an hour, a treadmill, or sitting on a stationary bike, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. I personally tried to do steady state cardio outdoors, either have a bike ride or have a walk in nature. Makes it a bit more exciting, but yes, it can be a bit laborious and monotonous if you don't have facilities to train outside. Okay, let's look at HIIT cardio, high intensity interval training. It's also called anaerobic exercise, meaning without oxygen. So maximum effort training. Balls to the wall, all out. I do this from time to time myself. My preferred method of HIIT cardio would be on a stationary bike, where I put the resistance maximum level and I'll try and cycle as hard as I can for 2 minutes. I mean, where there is no breath in your lungs, you can't speak, you're close to throwing up, and then recovering by cycling for 2 or 3 minutes at a lower pace and then doing that again. This is hell of a taxing on the body, and you need to have elite level fitness to do true HIIT training. I'm fitter than most people. I train nearly every day of my life, and I can honestly get to 10, maximum 15 minutes, then I'm spent. The average person that claims to be doing HIIT cardio is actually doing interval training, normal interval training. Most people are not fit enough to do true high intensity interval training. People don't want to hear that, but that is unfortunately a fact. So who would benefit from this type of training? Well, the first group of people would obviously be people that is very fit, that's got elite level fitness. The second group of people would obviously be people that has time constraints, where you don't have half an hour or 60 minutes to do steady state cardio. You have to compress your cardio workout into a short period. Typical HIIT training session would be 10 to 20 minutes. If you're very, very fit, perhaps 30 minutes. But most likely in the 15-minute range. It's quick and compact and doesn't take a lot of your time. And then probably most importantly, if your primary goal is to compete in the CrossFit Games or do some type of sport where high levels of fitness is required, then yes, obviously, would be your go-to. Like I said in the beginning, it's all about what is your end goal, and based on that, you need the right tool, the right cardio tool. And if that is the case, then yes, high intensity interval training would be the best for you. Let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of high intensity interval training or HIIT cardio. The first one, obviously, is the fact that it's not time consuming. If you can put 15 or 20 minutes away or 10 minutes away a day for your cardio training, you don't have more time, then HIIT would be the go-to. The second advantage is it is good for your heart. And that is the most important muscle at the end of the day. Not your testicles or your biceps or triceps. You've got two of those. You've only got one heart. Look after your heart, and HIIT cardio is definitely good for cardiovascular fitness and for your heart health. So let's look at some disadvantages. Well, because of the high intensity nature of HIIT cardio, your risk of injuries will increase, especially if you are not fit and you're just starting out. Be careful when you do HIIT cardio. You could get injured if you don't do it properly. The second disadvantage would be the recovery time. Remember, this is all in, balls to the wall, training as hard as you can. Your recovery time is way longer than with steady state cardio. And like I explained already, it's not ideal. If your primary goal is building muscle, then I would rather stick to steady state cardio. Then there's another elephant in the room that I just want to quickly address, and that is EPOC. EPOC stands for excessive post-exercise oxygen consumption, or the afterburn. Now, there's people that believe that if you do a HIIT training session, the afterburn, or the fact that your body needs to recover, and because there's a shortage of oxygen, that you can burn tons and tons of extra calories in the hours following your HIIT training session. Now, firstly, HIIT training will allow you to get an afterburn effect, or the EPOC effect. It's not a lie, it's true. What is a lie is the amount of calories that you can burn. So research has shown that depending on the duration of the high intensity interval training session, anywhere from 6 to 15%. If it's 10 minutes, you might be burning an additional 6%. If it's longer, you can go up to 15% of the total amount of calories that you burnt within the session. So to make it easy, let's work on an average of 10%. If you burned 200 calories during your training session, the EPOC, or the afterburn effect, will probably be around 20 calories that you'll burn extra over and above the calories that you burned in the session. Not 50 or 100 or 200 or 500 like some people claim. That's not based in reality or truth or science. So you will not be burning massive amounts of calories after your training, although there will be some calorie burn. Not very significant at the end of the day. So don't think that because you did a HIIT training session, you can go home and snack on donuts and sweets because your body is burning calories for the next 72 hours. That's just not the truth. Like I always say in all my videos, you need to empower yourself with knowledge. The more you know, the better decisions you can make to reach your fitness goals, to reach your weight loss goals. So, final verdict. Which of these two types of cardio, steady state cardio or HIIT cardio, is the best? And the answer is simply, it depends. Depends on you, your specific goals, what you require as an end result. What I can say is that if your primary goal is fat loss, then without a shadow of a doubt, by a mile, steady state cardio would be a better option if you have the time, obviously. You don't burn as much calories with HIIT simply because most people aren't fit enough to do it long enough to burn a substantial amount of calories. If you are an elite level athlete that is extremely fit and you can do HIIT training for 30 to 40 minutes, yes, different story. This channel is not aimed towards elite level athletes, and I'm pretty sure I don't have any subscribers currently that is elite level athletes. This is for normal average people that just want to get in shape, lose body fat and be healthier. Then steady state cardio would be the better option. But here's a novel thought. Why not do both? You don't have to choose either or, you could actually do both. So how many hours a week is recommended? If you train every day, you're looking at about 30 to 40 minutes a day of walking. So how fast? Or walking or cycling or doing whatever you enjoy doing. How fast? At a moderate pace. If you walk as if you're in a hurry to get somewhere, that's how fast you. But always very important, you have to enjoy what you're doing. If you're not going to enjoy what you're doing, you will not be able to carry on with that for the rest of your life. So if you don't like walking, do cycling or hiking or rowing, whatever you want to do that you enjoy doing, that's what you need to do, and you'll be able to sustain it for the rest of your life. And please do both. You don't have to choose either or. Guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you learned something. I'm on Facebook and on Instagram. It's on there. Please go and check me out. I've got awesome coaching packages available at the moment. Also, please leave a comment and like and subscribe. Guys, and I'm out.